Hey everyone, it's Heather Nichols, and today I have a set of mini slim cards to share with you that are perfect to give thanks and celebrate Thanksgiving. It all starts with the Foilet Seasonal Sprig panels. These panels are perfectly sized to layer on a mini slim card front. I'll also be using the Handlettered Thanksgiving stamp set and coordinating dies. I'll be foiling with Pewter Deco foil and my Minc machine. I'm coloring my images with Copic Markers. I'll use Oreo ink for stamping, and I'll add splatters to my projects using Copic Opaque white ink, chocolate truffle liquid watercolor, and my water brush. Finally, I'll use Bits and Pieces clear drip drops adhered with multimedia matte. The first thing I'm going to do is foil these panels. You get 12 panels in a package, and like I mentioned, these are perfectly sized for mini slim cards. The panels are printed with a toner ink, and so they are compatible for heat foiling. I'm using Pewter Deco foil, and what I'll do is take out the foil and then I'll use scissors to trim the foil down so that it's perfectly sized over the panels. I'll place the panels into the carrier. I have a piece of cardstock to keep everything stable, and then put the foil on top of the panels pretty side up. So there's the shiny side and there's a dull side on the back. You want the dull side touching your panel, and you want to be able to see the pretty side. My Minc machine is all heated up, so just make sure whatever heat source you're using is hot enough. I've got mine set on a 4 for the Minc. That seems to work well for me. Then close your carrier and send that right through the Minc machine. Once everything has gone through the machine, go ahead and remove your panels from the carrier. Peel off that foil to reveal those beautiful foiled images. The pewter color is a really dark silvery color. It almost looks black, but then it has that surprise of shine and flash. Next, I'm going to color the images. I'm starting off with the greens with YG97 and YG95 Copic markers. I like to color my images first with the light tone, and then I will add shadows with the darker tone. And then I'll go back with that lighter tone and blend the colors together. Our foilet panels that are printed on sugar cube cardstock are compatible with Copic marker coloring, so that is a perfect medium to use to color in the images. If Copic marker coloring is not your thing, you could use other mediums as well. You could use other types of markers. You could use colored pencils. The only thing we don't recommend with our foilet panels is watercolor. I'm using V95 and V99 for the purple berries on this panel. There is another option for coloring the seasonal sprig images. You can use the Mini Slim Seasonal Sprig Layering Stencil set. The set includes 2 stencils, one to color the leaves and one to color the berries, and you can apply ink through the stencils with your blender brushes. So as you can tell, there are a lot of options for how you can color this berry branch image from the Seasonal Sprig set. The final thing I like to do when I'm coloring with Copic images that are going to sit on a white or solid colored background is to add a really light gray shadow around the whole image, and I do that with W1. It's just light enough that it's not super noticeable, but it really will give your image a pop on your project. For the second panel, I'm going all out with fall color. I'm using yellow and orange tones on the leaves, coloring them with YR15 and YR18. I'm coloring the berries in red using R29 and R59. And finally, I'm adding the light gray shadow around the image using W1. Adding splatters to your projects is completely optional. I personally love the rustic touch that it gives to my images. I am adding those splatters using chocolate truffle liquid watercolor and Copic Opaque white ink. I'm picking those colors up with a water brush and tapping the brush over my finger to add the splatters to my panels. The sentiments that I'm using for my cards are from the Handlettered Thanksgiving stamp set. I'm using the Give Thanks stamp and also the Happy Thanksgiving stamp. I'll set these up in my MISTI on a piece of sugar cube Cube cardstock. Once I have the stamps where I want them, I'll close the lid of the MISTI to pick up the stamps. Then I'll ink up the stamps with Oreo ink and then use the Just Press tool to stamp the sentiments onto the cardstock. I cut out the sentiments with the coordinating dies. I'll line those dies up right over the top of the stamped sentiment, holding them in place with a bit of removable Scotch tape, and then I sent them through my Sidekick machine. You'll notice that my strip of cardstock is too long for the Sidekick plates. I just rearranged the other end and sent it through the other direction to make sure everything cut all the way through. To give the sentiments a bit of extra dimension, I cut some additional pieces of the die cuts from Sugar Cube cardstock and also one from Toffee cardstock. I'll layer the Sugar Cube cardstock right behind the sentiment, and then when I attach the Toffee cardstock die cut, I'll offset it just a bit so it has kind of a shadow effect. To put the cards together, I'm adding the panels to Toffee cardstock mini slim side fold card bases. You can make your own mini slim card bases by cutting a piece of cardstock 6 inches by 7 inches and then folding it so your finished card size is 3.5 inches by 6 inches. Once the panels are attached to the card bases, I added the sentiments. I decided to do my cards with a horizontal or landscape orientation, but you could definitely do these in a vertical orientation as well. My final finishing touch is a few bits and pieces clear drip drops scattered across the card. I did 3 on one side of the sentiment and then 3 on the other. I attached the drip drops with my favorite liquid adhesive, Multi-Medium Matte. These cards are done and I am so happy with how they turned out. I really love the shine from the Pewter Deco foil on the image. It's a subtle but beautiful touch. You can find the Foil-It Seasonal Sprig panels along with the other supplies that I used to create these cards at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com. Thanks so much for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you next time.